Hospital Porters Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order. Welcome to HPANWO TV and welcome to this Reply to Comments 77. I assume I'll be able to upload this onto YouTube. If not, then it'll just be on Alt Tech until my Facebook jail time period ends. My sentence in Facebook jail, assuming it does end. Anyway, so this is my Reply to Comments video 77th in this project. As the name suggests, it's the video in which I reply to your comments, and the reason I make these videos is several reasons actually. Firstly, I don't have time to reply to your comments by text; it takes too long, and I get a lot of texts, a lot of comments because I'm a popular channel, and I feel obliged to reply to your comments because you take the time to write them, and some of them are very interesting, some of them are long, well thought out. There's also dialogue between different viewers, which I sometimes like to comment on. So I need to reply in one sense or another. Now, some of you might be saying, "Well, come on, Ben, this isn't the way to reply to people's comments. There's no point you doing this because your reply to comments videos are too long. I mean, you're talking like 9 hours, and no one's going to want to watch a 9-hour video just to get one comment replied to." Well, guess what? You don't. You don't have to reply. You don't have to watch all 9 hours of it, because what I'll do is I'll take these off while I'm addressing you directly. What I'll do is I will put a timestamp underneath the comment I'm replying to, saying thank you for comment. It'll be replied to. I'll be responding to it. And I'll tell you within the hour, within that long 9-hour video, that I'll be responding to your comment within the hour. So the longest you're going to have to watch is just 1 hour. That's not too bad, is it? Just put it on in the background while you're making dinner and we're doing the washing up. And another thing is, let's face it, my comment reply videos are shorter than they used to be. They're not. I haven't made a 9-hour one for years. The reason is I do them more often. I try to do them every 2 weeks. Or depending on how many times I upload, every 2 to 3 weeks. In this case, I've let it go a little bit longer because I have done fewer uploads because of my ban, or I haven't actually done fewer uploads, just I didn't upload them so much to YouTube. So another reason I do these reply to comments videos is I enjoy doing them, and you guys enjoy watching them. It seems they are quite popular, well, I know a lot of you watch them all the way through anyway. That's why I do them. So let's go straight to the last channel comments, which was like 3 weeks ago, and it's Charles Scott, who says here, let's have a look. It's the person goes to OLM 1 year on live stream. Now, this is a Charles Scott. What's he got to say? There is no question Ben is a liar. Oh dear. It's indefensible. Anyone? Oh dear. Hang on. Look, hang on. I'm not going to read all this. Blah de blah de blah blah. Sorry, Charles, I've told you I don't want to discuss this with you anymore. You say here, I finished commenting about LLM. Well, praise the Lord, Charles. I've been wanting you to do that for ages. Now you've finally done it. Great. Stop commenting about OLM. I'm not interested in hearing any more about your opinions on OLM. I myself have done everything I can to accommodate you and reply to your accusations, which I think are false. And I think you're unfair to me, and I think you are obsessed with this, and I'm glad you finished commenting. Yeah, it says here, it may take over a week before I say I finished commenting about OLM. It's way beyond reasonable doubt. Ben, pretend. Oh, here we go. No, I'm not going to go through that again with you. Forget it. Right, Stephen Truthseeker, Jacob's Ladder Watch Party live stream. He says, I can identify with some of Tim Robbins' character. I've not lived the life I should have. All right. Well, Stephen, it's interesting. It's this, as I mentioned in my review of What Dreams May Come, and no doubt this will come up in the live stream. There are some parallels with people's experience of Summerland in What Dreams May Come, and the experience of Tim Robbins. I mean, he's not unlike the people who are trapped in the lower astral in that respect. The suicides, the people who died in distress. In the case of the Robbins character, Jacob, he can't bear the thought that he's died, and so he believes he's still alive. Yeah, and he's in a lower astral, which resembles very much the life he's just left. Stephen Truthseeker says on RDH Panorama livestream, the attacks on Richard D. Hall is a test run for attacks on others like David Icke. Icke is much bigger fish than RDH, but Icke can do a lot more damage to the Illuminati. I think both of them are doing a pretty good job, actually, Stephen. No, I do think what's been done to Richard is designed to be done to other people, probably even to you and me. I'm surprised they actually picked on Richard first, because they tend to try and take off the they tend to try and decapitate by going for the biggest fish of all, which is in this country is David Icke. Instead, they went to Richard. Richard's not so well known as David, but he is like a big player on the scene, and they decided to pick on him instead. David has already been sued twice. Maybe they'll find himself on the receiving end of Mariana Spring and whoever she can put up against him. Right, Red Joan film review. We have here Emma Goutard, or I think it's Goutard because this is French. What's this say? Ce film explique la stratégie de bombe nucléaire à une époque pourquoi. I'm going to have to translate that. Sorry, I can't speak French. I did learn it at school, but that was quite a while ago now, and I've forgotten it all. So let me just put this through. I'm going to put all your comments actually through. Oh, bloody hell! I'm going to put all your comments through Translate. There we go. Alright, this film explains the strategy of the nuclear bomb at a time why she betrayed her country for peace. It does, yes. I think it's Emma. I hope you can understand me. I can't speak to you in French, I'm afraid. It is, I think. I think that, yeah. She is portrayed compassionately. She's apparently loosely based on Melita Norwood, who was a real, who of course is a real spy, who was arrested. And there was always a sense that she decides to intervene directly into Cold War politics because she felt that. I don't think she was a dedicated communist. She wasn't like George Blake, who became like a closet Marxist. I think Melita Norwood and indeed Red Joan, the Joan character in the film, are more like. They just think, I have to do this because it's the best way to keep the world safe. There's various different reasons why people choose to spy. I'm more interested in the ideologues personally, and I've done an entire video about ideological spies, George Blake, Kim Philby, etc. I might come back to it because it's all a part of my new serial, which I'm writing, my new story. But in what you find is with the Americans, it's often they'll do it for money. I've noticed that they tend to do it for money. Okay, well, thanks anyway, Em, for that. And you got another comment here which says, watching this movie, it gives me ideas. Good. That's great. Or Emma. Sorry, Emma. Reply to comment 76, Michael Snow. First! Well done, Michael. Tinfoil hat is on its way. HPANWO official one. Dark Corners UK says congratulations. Donna Wellham says hi, Ben. Hi, Donna. How you doing? And we now have a thread. I reply to comment 76. Rick Horden, who says here, reply to comments is an original, amusing and unique concept as far as I'm aware. A bit like Points of View featuring Barry Took, but better by far. Thank you very much, Rick. You're getting a love heart for that, mate. Rhiannon Jones. Hey, Rhiannon. Do you think we can get Ben to use music from Points of View on reply to comments? It was really cool. It would be so funny. Well, I think maybe I should, Rhiannon. Yeah. It was Beatles, wasn't it? The Beatles. It was actually it was like a synth cover, but it was just a synth instrumental. But it was Beatles' Points of View, wasn't it? La 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 la. Sharing points of view. Will you still be sending me a Valentine? Birthday greetings, bottle of wine. Yeah. I'll see what I can do. Rick Horden says to Rhiannon, you hit the nail on the head there. Absolutely great idea. I wonder where copyright law stands on that. I'd happily do a makeshift rendition on my Casio keyboard. That's what the BBC did, essentially. Rhiannon says, I was going to offer to sing the doobie 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 doo da blah 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 vocals. We could write a few new set of lyrics, something more appropriate and HPANWO-esque. Hey guys, if you do that, I'd be very grateful. I'd be very grateful, I really would. Reply to comment 76. They suit you, bro. At least you won't have to cover one eye to read anymore. All right, Leanne. That's Jam Noise 72. Thanks, Jam Noise. Yeah, these. I'm kind of getting used to these. I've got these long distance ones, which I don't really wear very often. They don't kind of really. I don't know. They don't seem. They don't actually. They're a bit cumbersome, and I don't really need them when I'm at work. I wear them when I'm not at work and I'm out, but when I'm at work, I don't, because they just get in the way. Reply to comment 76. Stephen Truthseeker says, David Icke devises town hall, one man and his dog. Yeah, well, Stephen, as you know, because you listen to HPANWO Radio, I went to Device's town hall a couple of weeks ago, and I did ask them, and I found out a little bit about David there. Yeah. Reply to comment 76. Subscribe for free. That's a good name, isn't it? How long have you not been a hospital porter for? 11 years. Subscribe for free. Oh, Popcorn Boxing, as he says here. 2011, I think. He was forced out for his opinions. A great shame, as it was a job he loved. Thanks, Popcorn Boxing. It was January 2012. I was suspended, actually, in October 2011. I spent 3 months just sitting around waiting. On full pay, of course, but it was very stressful for me. BZ Garson, right, like to comment 76. You didn't block me, you threatened to, and that I was on a final warning. I never called you a racist. To say otherwise would be a lie. Yes, you did. You said that my comments about the astronauts of Artemis 2, and I can't remember exact words, but it was very, very rude. It was very unfair and very rude. I stand by what I said, and to say it's a far worse slur on your character than somebody who wholeheartedly stands by, actively supports, and agrees with that scrote that is Rich R.D. Hall, those that lost their children in the Manchester bombing are lying, is utterly repugnant. You ad-hommed me enough. I owe you one for the middle finger and the stream of invective you directed me with your last reply video, so a big fuck you, you bastard. Right, BZ, darling, alright. Firstly, right, you did actually said you stood by. If you're standing by what you said, then basically I might as well just block you, because you. In fact, I'm going to in a minute. You've got a few more comments I want to read out first, but I'm going to block you. You said some horrible things about claiming an attack on my character, claiming about what I'd said about the Artemis 2 crew. Yes, I do actively support and agree with Richard D. Hall, and I think, as for what Richard said about the Manchester incident, I think it's a case to answer to, and there's nothing. I don't believe it's wrong to say that. I personally think Richard is innocent of what he's been accused of, and I don't think it's utterly repugnant. What I think is utterly repugnant is that the government is messing with our heads like this by creating fake incidents designed to mold human behaviour, by creating horrible nightmares for us to believe in when they're not true. Okay, and I meant what I said to you in the last reply to comments video, and you obviously mean what you said here. So I think you're being unfair to Richard D. Hall as well, and. If you think, look, put it this way, right? So, are you saying to me, BZ? Are you saying to me you do this? You're walking along the street. There's an old lady coming towards you. Some thugs jump out of a bush, beat her over the head with baseball bats, keep beating her on the ground until she's dead, and then they take her handbag. Right? They do that. All right. Now, are you saying the right thing to do is when the police turn up, saying that poor lady, she was just walking along and she collapsed? Must have been a heart attack. Is that the right thing to do, BZ? Is that showing respect for her memory? Is that showing sensitivity to her loved ones? Because that's essentially what you're saying you have to do. I'll carry on now. Reply to comment 76. Jam Noise 72. I'm sorry if I misunderstood you, bro. I'm happy that you don't support them. We will have to disagree then that we need them. I think the world would have been a better place without the royals, kings and queens, lol. Sounds so dated. I noticed that there wasn't any support celebration in my area, no bunting on the high road. Ha! I still love you, moi. I love you too, Jam Noise. And as for I think you do you do understand me now. That I'm not saying that the Windsors are the rightful rulers at all of this particular. They're not the rightful rulers of this country. On the other hand, though, I think if we just went to we switched over to a republic, what would that be like? We'd have President Blair. Can you imagine that? Charles Scott is now. He's got a comment here which I'm not going to reply to, because I think I know what it's about. Let's just have a quick look here. Oh right. Oh, is this something new? Ben claims he bought a ticket for the first conference, but the organiser, Chris Evers, refunded the money for the ticket and asked Ben not to attend because he was not sure good order could be maintained by Ben's presence. That's correct, and Chris will back me up on that. Ben claims he tried to contact the organisers 3 times to buy a ticket for OLM 2022 and no response. Correct. So why didn't the organiser tell Ben not to attend, just like the first conference? Well, he may have been worried that I would publicise it again. I would make another video. I suspect he may have been worried that I would make another video with Tino and things like that, which I think I was justified in doing for the first time round. As it happens, I wouldn't have done that because it's just. I would have written a post on. I would have written an article on HPANWO Voice, but really it would just be repeating things. But if you look at the situation. Who was there? Who was at the conference? Peter Robbins, Sasha Christie. It's pretty much a similar lineup to the first time. Pretty much all the same. I don't think Alison Dunlop wasn't there, but apart from that, it was the same. It was the same crowd. It's a very unusual way to sell tickets for a conference. Normally, you can just sell them. You just like Chris did for the first one. You just put up these tickets for sale, and people can buy them. Now he says, no, you got to send me an email. I'll send you an invoice, and then you can buy one. So that's unusual. So when I didn't get a response, it was I felt like, because I did write to him, and I twice on YouTube, twice on email, which he's a contact. He's a contacted on my email, so there was no way they would have gone to the spam folder. And and I contacted him on Facebook as well. No replies. So the reason he didn't just tell me not to attend this second conference, he said, because I was expecting him to write back and say, look, Ben, I'm sorry, I can't let you attend again because of these people, all right, because they're there and it could cause trouble. I don't want trouble at my conference, and it's nothing against you, but you simply being there might trigger off some response in the speakers, and I don't want that. I want everything to go smoothly. This is the first conference I had. I had to cancel it twice. Because of the damn lockdown. I don't want this. Please just understand, I don't want any trouble for this one, because now suddenly I get a chance to get back and do a conference again. I want it to go smoothly. That's what in fact, he would have said that probably if I pushed him enough, like if I'd phoned him up or something, or camped outside his front gate. But I think by the time I hadn't had a reply after 3 times, I'd already decided what I was going to do. He carries on, says Charles. Why did Chris Evers probably spend days learning how to use appropriate graphic software, then hours faking a Stripe account and pretended he emailed the ticket invoice to Ben? It could be, for all I know, I don't know. I didn't receive the email with the ticket. Okay, I didn't receive the email with the ticket invoice. I didn't receive it, Charles. It could be that he may have found a way to add it to that account without necessarily sending it to me. That's all I know. Or maybe it was. Or maybe it was photoshopped. I don't know. Why go to all this fuss of commenting on Ben's channel, saying he did email the ticket invoice to Ben? I don't know, because I can't prove he did. I can't prove he didn't. It didn't arrive. This is strange, because Chris is a contact on my email. It would be far more sensible and easier to remain silent or tell Ben not to attend, unless you lied, Ben. No, it's not. It's not easier than that. It was easy once he realised that I had infiltrated his conference in disguise, which everyone did. In fact, I predicted exactly what they would do. They would go immediately to the cope, which is, oh, we knew it was Ben all along. He didn't fool us. We knew it was him. When we realised he was there, we thought, oh, we'll just let him get on with it. I knew they would do that. And I should have predicted also what Chris would say. No, I didn't. Look, I did send you a ticket, Ben. Look, there you are. All right, Charles, I've replied to you now, seeing as you said something slightly original. Reply to comment 76, Gary Robinson. Hey Gary, erotic yearnings for aliens. Sounds like a great movie. Oh, blimey. Not one I've seen. Well, I've seen something similar, but I won't go into that. Neil Peel. Reply to comment 76. Welcome to the Blurry Vision Club, Ben. I was nagged into getting my eyes tested by my other half, but she was right. I needed them for artwork and reading. I'm okay for long sight stuff, though. Your glasses suit you, however. Oh, thank you very much. These are my reading ones. Like I said, I've got like black ones. I've made sure they were different colours so I could tell them apart. I got like black glasses for the. I got black coloured glasses with black frames for long distance. Yeah. Popcorn Boxing says Bruce Dickinson. I think he's saying that's what Neil looks like. He does a bit, doesn't he? Yes. Neil says that's a first. Popcorn, a first word. A first what? Likening me to Bruce Dickinson. Popcorn, it's not him then, Neil. No, that's me. It's my photo taken at a wedding some years back. Popcorn, do you know who Bruce Dickinson is? Yeah, absolutely. Run to the Hills, Number of the Beast. I used to play an Iron Maiden track in a band some years back. I just don't like big planes like him, though. I don't fly big planes like him, though. Yeah, yeah. Of course, he's an airline pilot, Bruce, as well. Yeah, as well as a rock star. Popcorn says to Neil, have people said you look like him before? Neil, well, no, they've likened me to other actors or famous people. I've been likened to a lot of people over the years, but never Mr. Dickinson. I have very blue eyes. I think Brucey has brown eyes. The last sort of actor I was likened to was about 10 years ago. It was a character called Sam, I think, in a series called True Blood. I think it was called. I never watched it myself. Is that right? True. I was thinking of First Blood, that film with still Sylvester Stallone. That was good. First Blood. It spawned like some very, very bad sequels, but the original First Blood film was bloody good. Anyway, yeah, I think I've been likened to that Aussie singer who's married to Nicole Kidman. Keith Urban is his name. Thank God not Keith Chegwin, but as I get older, I don't think I resemble him now. Well, you know, it beats the pub landlord, Neil, and more recently, Harry Hill. Neil, sorry Ben, we're taking up your comments pages with who I resemble. If I say the New World Order or David Icke, can I stay here? Of course you can. Of course you can, Neil. Don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry, this is amusing. Popcorn says to Neil, I think perhaps I've only seen you in that small picture, perhaps that's why. And Neil says, yes, you fill the uncertain areas with your mind, I guess. Great banter, lads, great banter. Charles Scott, a person goes to OLM 1 year on. Right. Unfortunately, Charles is now. All right, Charles, you're just repeating the point you said earlier, so I'm not responding. Reply to comment 76, Dark Corners. Hey, Ben, I'm currently off work with the coof, and this video is a pleasant surprise. Hey, nice one, Dark Corners. Get well soon, mate. Get well soon. Well, it's 3 weeks ago, so I assume you're better now. Neil Peel of the Paranormal Peep Show says on 76. The Richard D. Hall lawsuit around the Manchester bombing sounds pretty similar to the authorities trying to gag Helen Duncan. It has similarities, yeah. It's basically using the judiciary, in this case the system's civil lawsuits, for the purpose for the hidden agenda. That is the secret reason of silencing someone who questions an official narrative. That's the purpose of it. Like I said in my video about this, the real reason they're doing this, they're saying things like, oh, the families are hurting so much thanks to horrible Mr. Hall. He's upset them so much. Oh dear. You know, it's not about that really. It is about that people. They don't want people to question things. They don't want people to question official narratives of anything. And so that's why they're doing this to Richard. They want to set up a common law precedent actually, so they can apply it to other people. That's why it's so important. I mean, if you may not get on with Richard, I don't get on with him really, but you know, he represents all of us in this case. What's done to him is unfair. I mean, as I said, even though, like I said, I've got my personal issues with him, you know, he doesn't deserve this. I wouldn't wish this on him. I really wouldn't. So it has similarities to the Helen Duncan thing, yeah. It's a bit strange that the victim is now deciding to take legal action against Richard only after the BBC failed to get that interview with him. That attempt failed, so they appear to try another tactic, perhaps. Well, I mean, I suspect, Neil, the general tactic here is outsourced lawfare, rather than just passing laws. I mean, the government, I think, they tried to pass the online harms bill and failed. This is kind of like Plan B. Well, they got the online harms bill is now being read again, but without the legal but harmful clause, which the legal but harmful bit is the absolute core of the whole issue. So rather than going back and completely changing the law, they just get these litigious paramilitaries to do the job for them. And Jamnoy says in reply to Neil, I don't understand any of this, Neil. Andrew, shitty blue fleece, said that's Andrew Johnson, said that Richard has not received any papers regarding this issue and he's not heard from anyone re the lawsuit. If that is true, then the BBC and government are using Richard to shut him down and scare others into not speaking. Yeah, precisely. Richard, I don't know that Richard obviously is going to is in consultation with his solicitor, and he may not be able to tell everyone about what is going on in this world. I wish him luck. I wish him luck with everything. And I'm pleased to say, and I put up a notice saying free the mayor to Tudville 1 on HPANWO Voice, explaining how people could contribute to his legal fund, and he's virtually reached his target now with his legal fund, which is brilliant. It means the community is coming together to challenge this imposition of Orwellian tyranny. Jamnoy says here on reply to comment 76, lol, I said silver frame as I thought a dark frame may be too harsh for you, but they really do shoot you. You really do suit you. You look even more intelligent now. Well, thank you, Jackie. Thank you very much. I just didn't want to look silver frames. No, I'd end up looking like one of these greasy-eyed, long-haired gimps who hang around in alleyways outside schools. No, it's not me at all. TK says on a person goes to OLM. 1 year on live stream. Reading glasses? ? It's nice of the government to provide glasses to help you read. They didn't. I bought them. They're actually quite cheap because I got a 2-for-1 deal on 2 for the price of 1 deal on the long distance and the reading lenses. Are they New World Order glasses? I bloody hope not. Funny how you rely on the university educated opticians and glasses manufacturers and distribution networks when you need some glasses, Ben. What? I've never said those things are inherently bad. I've never said that in the post-Illuminati world these things won't exist, because they will. It's all a conspiracy, and they're trying to kill you. Apart from when you need glasses or a passport or flush your toilet. #fake #news. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thing to say, TK. It's like Richard Dawkins saying things like, "Well, they go onto the internet and they complain about things, and they promote religion and they complain about science. It's science and engineering that provided the internet for them to use." It's polarising. You're saying, "Well, Ben's obviously against everything like this." Then he's against passports. He's against glasses. Because everything's a conspiracy. It's trying to kill him. Well, it's not everything is a conspiracy trying to kill me. Some things are. So that is a marginalisation of my position, and you might. I don't know if you were one of the ones who completely has misrepresented me at other times. I mean, there's classic cases. The classic one is Objectgate. What, Ben? Why was it you or someone? At least 2 people said, Ben, why do you keep insisting that Objectgate was definitely caused by aliens? This is after I made 5 bloody videos about the subject. It must be 8-9 hours of material exploring every angle of the whole issue, and then they come out with, why do you keep insisting it was aliens? There's a limit to how big and I never said that I can utter. And this is beyond that. I swear I'll do a roving film review at some point. I've got plans to review Oppenheimer at the cinema. I'll do a roving review, and then at the end of it, I'll get this comment. I'll come out of the cinema saying, "That is a brilliant film. It's wonderful. It's one of the best I've ever seen." And someone will put a comment underneath. Maybe even TK will put a comment underneath saying, "Ben, why do you keep insisting this is such a bad film?" So I cannot deal with people. I can deal with people who disagree. I can't deal with people who misrepresent me and just talk and say things that are completely a 90-degree angle to everything I stand for. So there, TK. 76, Emlyn-Jones. Loving the glasses, Ben, but there will be no more looking at naked ladies when you're on screen, as we can see everything reflected in your new glasses. Seriously though, don't panic. You can get non-reflective film put on them. You know, Rhiannon, they actually offered me that. It was an extra £10. I thought, nah, can't be bothered. But you know what? I do know what you mean. In fact, there's been several cases in psychical research of experiments where people are wearing glasses. You know, the Zener cards where he holds up things like that, and he says, well, the subject can see it reflected in your glasses what you're holding up. So it's worth wearing that. It's worth bearing that in mind. But you know what? I don't look at naked ladies when I'm doing videos. Luckily, whenever I do, I make sure that there's no camera here. And we have a thread with Steve Mumbling. Oh my god, here we go. 76, David, Splendid Isolation says, another aspect with the pseudo-skeptics is they are never as critical towards the prosaic explanations as they are towards the original claim. They eagerly lap up them and promote them. This also betrays their bias from the start and why they aren't genuine skeptics. And Steve Mumbling says underneath, unlike Ben and Co., I understand technology and physics. I can look at what NASA say about their communication systems, and I know it looks fine. I can look at the photographs and see they're fine, where Ben and Co. see problems because they want to see problems. When challenged, they run and hide. That should tell you who's right and who's wrong. Oh, really, we run and hide, Steve? That's not what happened when you were on my show, does it? When you were not my show, you were on the Apollo Detectives. That's not running and hiding, is it? David says to Steve, but it's not. It's because of the desire of pseudo-skeptics like you, Steve, is that you've already made your mind up from the start. You've already made your mind up about what are acceptable conclusions and what are unacceptable conclusions. And so you funnel your investigation through this axiom. And further to the point, the pseudo-skeptic doesn't treat these preferred prosaic explanations with anything like the same level of critical skepticism for the above reason. It's so hypocritical of you to say that they want to see the problem when it's you and your side who want and desire to see nothing but prosaic and mundane explanations. I realise you can never admit to being a biased pseudo-skeptic because that would give the game away, but I'm glad your behaviour can be identified along with those in your particular chosen clique. David, you know, I couldn't have put it better myself. In fact, you know, I cover this in detail I cover this very considerably on my skeptic video, don't I? And so that's absolutely right. Steve Mumbling has a belief system. He won't admit it, but he has a belief system. Steve says to David, did you miss about the bit about me knowing NASA's comm systems is fine? Well, Steve, no, we didn't miss that bit about you saying you know NASA's comm system is fine. In that case, why couldn't you, when you were debating Scott Henderson, why couldn't you actually present that case using the evidence rather than just calling him names and mouthing off and interrupting him? If you know about NASA's comm systems, you can actually explain calmly and politely to Scott. Exactly, you could explain exactly how he was wrong, but you couldn't, could you? Having looked at the technical detail, I would know it's fine. If it wasn't, I would say so. Ben and Co. have no idea whether it's fine or not. They don't understand the technology. They just say it isn't fine because it suits their narrative. That's dishonest. Most of their ridiculous arguments rely on omission, distortion, misrepresentation, and blatant lies. That in itself should tell you something. Well, there's just like I say, Steve, all rhetoric, no argument. Typical of you, isn't it? David Smith says, it sounds like you're a pseudo-skeptic then, David. As is Ben, by your definition. Right, David is addressing David's Splendid Isolation. Okay, Splendid Isolation says to Smith, no, because the key difference is we don't pretend to be unbiased or unbelieving. Pseudo-skeptics have their own impeccable belief system in another direction, aren't genuinely skeptical on these matters, which is genuinely useful. Pseudo-skeptics are disingenuous, but that's part of hiding their motivation. Yes, David, you've watched my skeptic video, and you've seen where I say quite clearly that they expose themselves. They expose themselves. Sally Morgan, I would indoctrinate her into non-belief, etc., etc. I've analysed this very clearly. I don't know if Steve Mumbling has ever watched that. David says, Steve says to David, Ben and co are the skeptics. They choose to disbelieve any official story as their default condition, mostly because they have nothing else to do. Steve, you choose to believe the official story as your default condition. You see, you're just... There's none so indoctrinated as those who believe they are not indoctrinated. Reply to comment 76. Sinara's Ashtree. Wow, Ben, your specs look really good. Thanks, Sinara. Thank you very much. Reply to comment 76. David. Fetus is Greek for baby. That's right, yeah. It's a word used for an unborn baby. 76. Jim Skin Pivot says here, thanks for responding, Ben. Sort of. All very well casually referring me to books, but I'd rather you just said why you believe men have been to the moon in the 1940s but couldn't do it again in the 1960s. What secret space program is so lame in its basic security that the damning details got out? Also, I could get it, or I do get it about free speech and Richard D. Hall. Free speech is sacrosanct. Hall is innocent of any wrongdoings, but you block and delete at multiple points in the video because these instances are just different. And you're really not a hypocrite, right? No, well, firstly about the books. Okay, the ones by Joseph Farrell are very good. He says, Jim, you see, what you want me to do is you want me to go off and like search things for you and do Google searches while you sit in your armchair and wait for me to deliver the details which you could find yourself. There's lots of books on the secret space program. Like I said, Joseph Farrell's very good. Nick Cook, Igor Witkowski. That's just there's a whole list of them. There's lots of documentaries and things like that as well. So you see, I get this a lot from people. It says, "Well, you casually refer me to this, but Ben, I expect to sit here while you deliver me these goods. I don't want to do any work here. I'm making comments, so I'm asking you questions. The onus is on you to provide me with all the details. Spoon feed it to me. I'll tell you what, better still, come around my house and just sit there and read it out while I just lie back. I'll read these books out to me." No, you do the rest, Jin. As the thing with Richard D. Hall is an attack on free speech, yeah, I'm glad you realise that. And yeah, Richard is innocent of any wrongdoings. But I block and delete at multiple points. I've blocked one person. I'm about to block another. I've blocked one person in the last 6 months. So what are you talking about? Deleting comments. I deleted a comment. I think it might have been one of yours because I can't remember why, but I think you were very rude. As I said, I've only done that about 3 times in the last 6 months. So what are you talking about? Charles Scott here. Oh right, is it? Oh, it's a thread. Hang on, it's a thread with. Oh, God, it's a thread with Charles Scott and Jack Burns. No, I probably won't. This is a person goes to OLM 1 year on. Okay, Charles is repeating himself there. And Jack says here, you accept he was in effect banned from the first conference, did not receive a reply. This is I'm reading Jack's and not Charles's comment because I've already read Charles's comment. You know exactly what Charles is going to say. This is just a repeat of it. Did not receive a reply at least 2 of his attempts to buy a ticket for the 2020 conference, yet feel there is still strong evidence the organiser had no objection to Ben attending, was willing to sell him a ticket on a 50-50 likelihood. What sounds more believable? Well, thank you, Jack. I appreciate you sticking up for me. And I'm not going to read out the rest of this conversation, okay, because I know what Charles is going to say, and I just want to say I appreciate you standing up for me. What Charles is going to do is he's going to say I made that up. He's going to claim I made that whole thing up, which I didn't. I sent him a screenshot which he doesn't accept as evidence. Yet Chris Evers provided a screenshot which he does accept as evidence. So there's no. And once you reach that point, and presented with an uncertain outcome on where there's 2 levels of evidence which are pretty evenly matched, and yet he won't even consider the other, then any discussion has to end. This is why I'm not reading out I'm not going to read out Charles's comments, and I won't be reading out this thread, but I appreciate you resisting him there. 76 and Jack Burns here again. Sorry for the brevity and perhaps YouTube. I didn't go into detail on the RDH's Big Bang. I agree he found some anomalies, which is interesting in itself. Yeah, have you noticed Richard's just uploaded another video? As I said, he's not letting this get him down. He's a tough cookie, is our Rich. He's not letting it get him down, and he's just uploaded another video, which is basically a critique of the Manchester Arena bombing inquiry. Very good stuff. There shouldn't be any if the authorities got everything right and are telling us the full truth. Yeah, I don't think the authorities actually really care if there are a few, if they don't get everything right in their various pieces of stagecraft, because they know that most people, they don't actually have to convince, they don't have to go to a lot of effort to convince people. They know that unfortunately it's only a minority of people who will do what Richard has done. That is, go through it factually, calmly, without any emotion, and without any, and just see whether it actually makes sense logically. So Richard has done that. I've done that. Many people have done that. We are a minority. Now we're a growing minority, which is why the government are getting scared. This is why they're doing this to Richard, because they're scared of the number of people who are questioning them, which is increasing. This is basically because of 2016. Ever since 2016, they have been shitting themselves, because literally this is 2016 was their worst nightmare come true, followed by the 2017 UFO issue. This is why they're doing this to Richard. Jack continues, his vids are always interesting, well put together, and makes you question things. Like you say, he did things, like you say, the things he did investigation-wise are routinely done by the BBC, etc. Oh yeah, that's right, yeah. Your new specs look fine. Look up palming eye exercises. Deep relaxation of the eye muscles helps them. Oh, thanks, Jack, I'll do that. Yeah, of course, there's everything that Richard does is done by other people. I mean, other people have sued the BBC before for their conduct. Many times. Of course, the BBC have an infinite supply of money because they can just suck it out of our bank accounts. Okay, we go. Right, Charles Scott says here, oh right, let's have a look. Reply to comment 76. You skipped my comment and said sorry for not reading it out. I did once because I made a mistake, but you got to realise, Charles, you're making things very difficult for me, because you put these long detailed comments, which you keep repeating yourself over and over again, and so it's asking a lot for me to read every single thing you write here, especially when I've just told you I'm not going to be replying to this subject you keep bringing up over and over again. Okay, I haven't deleted any of your comments, if that you said that's, but I am. You realise when you write these pages and pages and pages, and then just go and just respond with oh, well, Ben, this is different. Why didn't you reply to that? It's like it's like you're hiding. You think you want me to reply to. You're hiding like a little needle in a haystack, and then saying, "But why don't you find that needle? Where? I want you to reply to that needle." You could help me out here, Jack, by just stop bleating on and repeating yourself over and over again about OLM, Stripe account, screenshots. All right, just shut up about it. Jam Noise here is replying to me here. Let's have a look here. Your comments have been noted and replied to. Your comment of that comment was commented on. The comment received replied and was commented on. There are no further comments after this. Then a spamming began. That comment was also responded to appropriately, and appropriately repeated comments was left by you. They're replied to by yourself. And she says, "That's what you sound like." Yeah, and then Jam Noise and Charles have a little discussion. I won't read this out, but Jackie, thank you very much for. And then Charles eventually says, "You're a nitwit for continuing with your childish nonsense. I'm not engaging here with you anymore." Well, hallelujah. And Jackie says, "Yes, it worked. Bye. I shall miss you tremendously." Charles, why didn't you do the same to me? Say the same to me. Charles Scott 76. I'm almost done commenting on your channel. Hallelujah. 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 Before I go, I'll address your reptilian shape-shifting speculation. Well, bloody hell, you're done commenting on my channel, and now suddenly, and then suddenly Charles starts, you're actually changing the subject. You see, Charles, I don't want you to stop commenting on my channel. I really don't. If you just simply change the subject, take the record off the turntable about what you've been going on and on about for over a year now, and just talk about other things. Go back to talking about Roswell. If you do that, I don't want you to leave if you're going to do that. Now you're addressing something different, which is great. Why don't you stay here and keep addressing these different things? You're addressing, I will probably address your reptilian shape-shifting speculation, which nullifies itself, such as it's neither etheric nor physical, and therefore, based on your speculations, it's impossible to be true, and therefore, absolute rubbish, quote unquote. I think he's imitating Steve Mumbling there. Absolute rubbish. Well, you know, Charles, you know, I please feel free to comment about reptilians, because I'll have a debate with you about that. It'd be great that you're just talking about something else. That's all I want, and you know, that's all I want you to do. I don't want you to leave if you're going to talk about other things. But I don't want you to just keep bleating on about OLM all the time. You know, if you're just going to do that, I don't want you commenting. So it's up to you. Crafty Nihilist says on 76, we both love and miss you, Ben. Oh, same here, Crafty. But you know, we're going to see each other soon, aren't we? We're going to see each other. Charles Scott says, reply to comments. Right. It's obvious, Ben, you're strategically skipping my comments for damage limitation reasons. No, I'm not, Charles. I am strategically skipping your comments, but I'm doing it because I'm just tired. I'm tired of repeating myself and you repeating yourself. All right, there's another one here. I think, what's this here? Again, if there's anything original in this, you can help me by not keep repeating yourself here. Okay. Real issues. What's this? Oh, it's obvious, Ben. You have real issues with Sasha Christie and Peter Robbins. Well, I've never had it, and David Young. Well, I've never actually pretended otherwise. I've actually explained exactly why I have an issue with those people. It's clear you're angry and you want revenge. Yeah, I'll admit that. That was my objective. Yes, and I got it. So there you are. I'm not angry anymore. I feel upset about the way I was treated, but I think that those that treated me badly have got their comeuppance. And there was no sort of like. The way I got my own back was by being mischievous and making a mockery, and essentially it was a kind of harmless form of revenge, really, wasn't it? I mean, there was no injured party, like I said. I just showed them up. 76, Kevin White. Back in the day when we were kids, anyone with spectacles was instantly labelled Joe 90. Oh, that was cool. I remember the Jerry Anderson cartoons. Joe 90 was cool. Oh, we got Oxford May Morning and Oxford Green Tube. Hey Ben, what's happened? What's happened is go look up Shotover. Everyone is trying. We don't want to know madness. We had a rave for speakers and 2 amps for people to have a party. Okay, Oxford Green Tube, you're not very coherent here, but I think what you're saying is that there was some kind of party on Shotover involving music and things. Well, that's great. Maybe that's something for next year. David Smith says on reply to comments, 76. Hey Ben, I think some of my comments didn't make sense because they were coming from the Max Q debacle, or some I was replying to got removed. David, I think anything you replied to Max Q would have been removed when I blocked Max Q. Yeah, when I realised who she was. Of course, I'll defend you from snarky comments that aren't related to what's being said. Oh, thanks, David. Any comment I make, whether they're serious, sarcastic rhetoric, etc., all come from a relaxed, open to being wrong tone. We have a lot of differences on these beliefs, but if you're ever in the area and need a bed or sofa to crash on, you're welcome here. And if Steve is in the area, maybe you two could share a room. Oh, that'd be a laugh. Saying that, I'm going to slaughter you with my next set of comments replies. Just kidding. All right, David, thank you very much. If I misunderstood you, then I apologise. I really do. Dark Corners UK, Oxford May Morning. Pride and dignity, brother. Pride and dignity. I hope you're feeling better, Dark Corners. Actually, that's Oxford May Morning 3. That's a different video. That's one of my older coverages of Oxford May Morning, because I did 3, I think, altogether, or 2. I did. I think 3 altogether. But Dark Corners, hope you're feeling better now, mate. Dark Corners says of my video, York, another enjoyable reportage, Ben. Thanks, Dark Corners, much appreciated. Charles Scott, Okay, I'm just going to read the last bit, okay? Because he says, that's me finished commenting here about OLM. Well, you know what, Charles? I'm giving you a love heart. I want you to finish commenting about OLM. This has been going on too long. And what I'd like to do, though, is for you to stick around and comment about other things. It'd be really, really nice. It'd be really, really nice if you could do that. If not, that's up to you. I'm not going to try and persuade you otherwise. Dark Corner says on York, I will never look at a cathedral the same way again. That's a lot of vaginas. Yeah, it's indeed. I mean, this is the thing that they were made. They were made with this symbolism, and basically they do resemble human organs because those are symbolic of energy, of sexual energy, as Lily Brunton was explaining. Yeah. Charles Scott says in 76 says that's not true. I ignore your answers. It's not true. I ignore your answers. I consider your answers. You do, Charles. You have done. It's just I don't give you any real answers anymore. So if I said you're ignoring my answer, then maybe I made a mistake. Okay, so be it. So be it. I'm sorry if I did that. But you must realise you're very hard to interpret because, as I said, it's the needle in the haystack thing. You want me to reply to all these needles. You keep leaving these needles in this haystack of things I've asked you not to. I've asked you not to put a haystack with where you want me to find the needles. Okay, just leave the needles open and I'll reply to them. So if I get something wrong, I misunderstand you, or it's probably your fault for the fact that you are hiding these needles in this haystack. It's at least partly your fault. Okay. Now we have a new one. Inferno Watch Read Party Review. This is my last video before I was rounded up by the YouTube police and put into YouTube jail. SBAK4444 says it's just a full stop. Dark Corner says first. Tinfoil hat on the way again, Dark Corners. You're getting good at this. You must have a whole collection of these official HPANWO tinfoil hats. David Splendid Isolation gives me a couple of thumbs up. Nice one, mate. And I have here a thread. And BZ Garson. No, it's Popcorn Boxing says on Inferno Watch Read Party Review. Popcorn Boxing. The author at the end malapropisms. I still don't know what that word means despite looking it up. Malapropisms. And BZ Garson says here, a malapropism is the mistaken use of an incorrect word in place of a word with a similar sound, resulting in a nonsensical, sometimes humorous utterance. An example is the statement attributed to the baseball player Yogi Berra regarding switch hitters. He hit us from both sides of the plate. He's amphibious. He means ambidextrous. Yeah. I think a lot of people do that. I mean, I've done that a couple of times. Where did I get it wrong? There's one word I got very wrong. I thought it meant something it didn't. I sometimes use these kinds of phrases to sound cool, and sometimes I use the wrong word or phrase. What was it? What was the word? Oh God. It'll come to me in a minute. Popcorn Boxing. Way to spoil a funny post. Oh, BZ, what's funny about it? Popcorn, I just thought it was a jazzy thing to post. What's a jazzy thing to post, says TK. Popcorn Boxing, thanks. Jam Noise. BZ, go to the store and ask them if they have a sense of humour your size. BZ, and then Jam Noise says that Popcorn Boxing made her laugh. BZ said, as for copying what I posted, guilty as charged, my lad. Did you notice I put the text in quotation marks and cited the source? If it was remotely funny, I would have come up with some witty, humorous retort, but the sense of humour seems to have gone AWOL. Have you reported it to the funny police? Jam Noise says, it's come back to you. You just proper made me laugh. Right. I said, I'm really looking forward to the next comments reply video, and so should you. BZ says, okay, Judy. Right, Bill Gates and the North Pole, Part 1. Oh, blimey. This has become very precedent given recent events. Bill Gates was always corrected, even back in those days. I wonder if he ever visited Area 51 or S4. I'd love to know everything he knows. Would love to hear if you have any more up-to-date thoughts on Gates' Microsoft Flight Simulator or Area 51. Charlie, only the video I've already made. It's really only the video I've already made about Area 51 and the Janet flights. Bill Gates, of course, I've mentioned elsewhere for other reasons, which I can't talk about on YouTube. I haven't played Flight Simulator for a couple of years. Actually, it's actually not installed on my new computer, but on this particular computer. But I've got a new one I haven't actually set up yet. Tessa1111 says Dan Brown's book predicted what we've lived with for 3 years. Pan dem yes, you can't say the actual word, but as one of my reasons for reviewing this particular book and film is because it was written like in 2013, 2016, Dan Brown in Inferno publication, first published, I think it was 2013. Yeah, 14th of May 2013. The film was 2016. Yeah, it seems very appropriate. Within 8 years, it's almost like a part of what he was saying came true. Very odd, that, isn't it? Yeah. Balloons, hello Balloons, how are you? Reply to comment 76. Your glasses are great. It seems like Americans are more likely to wear glasses. Have you noticed that? I haven't, but I can check that out. And David Smith says maybe they need them more to order at the drive-through. They have drive-throughs for things, don't they? They have drive-in cinemas as well. That's a very American thing. That's something I've never heard of in any other country apart from the United States. We certainly don't have them in Britain. Real Zombies Part 2 of 2. 2012, and this whole section was pre-COVID, but describes it all. Lights, yes. In fact, I've done an update when I went to Truth Seekers Northeast. I don't know if you noticed, but I did an updated version of my zombie talk, which took that into account. And you're absolutely right. You put a timestamp here. I'm not going to click it because I know exactly what you're talking about, and it does because I remember that talk very well. But check out Truth Seekers Northeast where I did the zombie talk. Yeah. Inferno Watch Read Party Review 15 Rick Horden 1503. Let's have a look at this. What's he say here? This is 1503. A famous biological superstar pop scientist. He has created a video and he wants the consortium, says at this particular date, at this particular like Brian Cox. Oh god, well Bertrand Subriest is actually not like Cox at all. He's more like, I think he's more like Greta Thunberg or James Lovelock. You know when I said Depop Lovelock, you know him. He's more like one of these more kind of like these more sort of highly strung political scientists. I don't think Cox has the brains to do anything like Bertrand Subriest. Alright, so here I put here, this is when I actually went into Facebook jail. This was the only way I could communicate with you, was putting a pinned comment at the top of Inferno Watch Read, which I'll actually unpin that. But I just said, this is the only way I can reach you now. I'll unpin it now. I can't even see. I've put my entire YouTube channel name in there, just to get it. Even on my own channel, I can't. Yeah, I'll unpin the comments. Date at this particular. There we go. But yeah, unpin. There we go. I'm not going to delete it. It's going to unpin it. Hello viewers, this is the only way I can reach you right now. I'm banned from posting anything on my channel for a week. This includes community text. Yeah, I couldn't put up a community notice either. There is a video on my old text channels explaining why. This is why I've been quiet. Sorry about that. Yeah, I did that indeed. obviously I've been using my alt tech platforms instead. And indeed, but when I got out of YouTube jail, which was 8 days actually, it wasn't a week, it was 8 bloody days. I think the bastards actually timed it from when I actually appealed. So I said that's why. So Jam Noise says, "Hey bro, thanks for letting us know. I've subbed to your backup too. Thanks, Jackie. TK, you naughty Ben." Martin Hull Vinicum says, "Thanks, Ben. Keep up the good work. Nice to see you again at Pusey." Oh, Martin, thanks. I don't remember you, but I probably would if I saw you. But thanks very much. It was great. It was a great event, wasn't it? But yeah, I got back from bloody, as you know, because I did upload all my videos to YouTube when I was out, when my suspension was lifted. I got back from the Basis Project conference to this fucking shit. I literally walked in and found, oh, your channel's gone. Oh, it's not gone for good. Oh, that's the end of an hour. It's not gone for good, guys. It's not gone forever. It's just for a week. You won't be able to use it. Alright, that's the end of an hour. Anyway, so I'll be back for hour number 2 very shortly. Okay, guys, hour number 2. So what have I got here? The lights were low. This is on PentaQFO. This is an old one. This was actually the first ever publication, the first ever time that the PentaQFO had been publicised. Literally, I was the first ufological journalist to break this story, and I was the first one to take it internationally when I spoke about it in Denmark. At 22:50, Kaz says at this point, I'll just click the link. This is a timestamp here.
If it was cloaked, why did it decide to uncloak in the middle of a military ambush? Or secondly, why didn't it remain cloaked if it was cloaked? This thing emerged. It didn't appear.
Right, yes. At this point, Kaz says at this point it's been implied that this was a rescue mission. Well, I haven't been on many rescue missions where at the end of the day they shoot it down. Yeah, this is bizarre. I mean, what actually happened and the purpose behind it is not known. What we do know is there was some kind of crash. There was a detonation. There was a large object appeared a few miles away at Penturk. It seems like the main the main activity was actually at Llantrisant. But he says this is bizarre. Kaz claims, in answer to Richard D. Hall's hypothesis, that she looked this up on the internet and she looked the other up. Regardless of your thoughts of RDH, the man, apart from being a good researcher, is also a very highly qualified man. That's true, Lights. It's true. He's not perfect, though. As you know, I am a harsh critic of his as well. For Kaz, I'm sure she would describe herself as a layman. To look up something and use that as evidence as to why Richard is wrong is poor. I can't remember. No, I think Kaz... I wish I could remember exactly what Richard said about this. I think he did this little thing where he went up onto a hillside when there was some kind of drill at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant. And he claimed, because there was the main skeptic position on this is that the whole thing was Operation Chameleon. All that Kaz and the other witnesses perceived was Operation Chameleon. This includes the explosion at the Royal Glamorgan Hospital. It's also the damage at Smilog Woods. So that may be. I mean, Kaz and Gary have. There's a book. I had it here. It's actually on it's over there, I think now. But they've written a whole book about this where they explain why. So I think it's more than just looking something up. They've written an entire book about this. Gary has assisted Kaz in this. Light continues. Kaz could be correct. RDH could be correct. There needs to be some balance, which lacks in most of her statements. If she at least prefaced with, "I could be wrong, but this is what I believe I saw," she may gain more of a following. Well, she did. She has actually said that a couple of times. It could be she's just omitting that for the sake of brevity. Because rather than just repeating it over and over again, she's just saying, after a while you just have to omit it, because you're not reading out a statement in court. This is something more informal. So maybe she proceeds on the basis, and I do this myself. I think most people abbreviate themselves in this way. I'm going to proceed on the premise that what I've said earlier still applies to my current statements. That kind of thing. The piece of paper found in the field, which just happened to contain the head of an intelligence department's name on, the top man in the world, is more like a plant used to distract the Germans to the Med on D-Day. I'm sure you have questions on that one, Ben. Yes, of course. Lights, I mean, as you know, I've talked before about Ian Fleming and his involvement with Helen Duncan. In that case, Fleming was behind the whole disinformation campaign to hide D-Day. Yeah, so it does seem a strange thing to find in the field unless it depends, because I can't remember what the details were of the paper. It could have been like they have this on every document that they produce, MI5 or whatever. It could be that. But bear in mind that Kaz has published more material on this subject since then. Anyway, Light says the elephant in the room on this. Why were the military there afterwards, before, etc.? Well, and he carries on. If I stress this was a military exercise, then that is exactly what they would be. Carry out recon and clear up afterwards. If it were a military exercise, possibly, but the thing about it is, though, Exercise Chameleon, or Operation Chameleon, whatever it's called, happens every year. And the presence of this particular team, whoever they were, firstly they were not in military uniform. They were wearing most of them were wearing kind of orange boiler suits and without any insignia on. They were armed though at the same time. It looks like they were part of some kind of established unit, probably something from the bowels of the Ministry of Defence for dealing with this sort of thing. Or maybe some kind of special detachment from the army or something. We don't know. The problem is that even though Operation Chameleon is a regular event, the people in Penta have never seen this team in this position before. Indeed, it wasn't just Kaz who told me this. The barmaid in the local pub told me the same thing. So there was something new, and also when you tie that into the fact that there's other things too, such as the explosion at the Royal Glam Hospital, the activity around Llantrisant and Smilog Woods, the aircraft above Penta. This was part of a much larger situation where things were out of the ordinary. And the activity, even if you leave aside the fact that there were people on the ground carrying out recon clearing up afterwards, that didn't normally happen either. I appreciate you agree this was a 100% case, but compared to the evidence and amount of witnesses from your other UK cases, this one hangs on one or two main witnesses in the area, and at least 20 people should have come forward to what was as loud and bright as a city centre firework display. Well, but Lights, since I made this video, people have. I interviewed one guy at Penturk. I also, like I said, I spoke to the barmaid in the local pub. Kaz and Gary have interviewed more people. I think there is more going. So therefore, I agree. This is my first Pentac UFO was my first ever video about this case, and it's kind of dated. So let's carry on. Jack Burns, Inferno Watch Read Party. I joined. He mentions the name of an alt-tech website. I'm subscribed to your channel on there, Ben. Tried to leave a message, but it didn't work. The gist was, is it possible that Team Droik were behind this YouTube strike? It seems a bit coincidental time-wise with Max receiving his marching orders. Oh, Jack, I actually put on a text comment here and I explained things. I want to first say thanks for joining BitChute and following me. I always said the word, didn't I? I don't think it's wrong with saying BitChute, BitChute, BitChute. Jehovah, Jehovah, Jehovah. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying the word. But I have absolutely no doubt that the trolls regularly flag every single video I upload. I'm absolutely certain of that. But obviously, usually this doesn't work because I think it's used too much. That system's abused too often. Even the bots have got fed up with it. But sometimes it works. Sometimes it does work. Yeah. In fact, I've actually lost a second video since my strike. It was the DC Aftermath live stream that also went down. Literally just after my strike. Now, they told me they were going to remove it, but they weren't going to put a strike on my account because apparently it's before some kind of watershed where new rules were put in place. Jamnoy says, I agree. Yeah. I'm sure they flag every single video. This one will probably be flagged as well. You can bet. David Smith says, I haven't seen the video yet, but I might actually be with you on this one. Maybe a current Droik review or something might be interesting for those not completely familiar with the whole saga. Right, you're right, David. There needs to be a bit of background to this. There is. It's a video called Confronting Droik. I suggest you watch that. It's on my channel. You have to log in because it's adults only. So check that out. Rachel's Eyes book review. All right. Judy Thomas says, I read it too. Did you enjoy it, Judy? Because I thought it was really, really good. I really thought it was very good. And there's this big gap now because I was away for a week. So it's gone straight from 12 days ago to 7 days. So that was, the last one was 8 days ago. That's David Smith. So basically, there is a gap now because I was on. I had 8 days in YouTube channels. Gary Robin, Oxford Graffiti 4. Gary Robinson says, "Pride and dignity, brother. Pride and dignity, Gary." Insert pie now says on Trump impeachment live stream banned. 2 + 2 = 5. Ain't that a fact? Insert pie now. Yeah, ain't that a bloody fact, bastards? Obviously, this video was uploaded to, as I said, there's nothing wrong with. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying the words BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble. I actually uploaded. I uploaded the videos to those. I uploaded the videos to those channels as soon as I could. And as I said, if you're not sub to me on Alt Tech, why not? Because you need to be, because you can't rely on just following me on mainstream social media anymore, because my material disappears. My accounts are disabled temporarily. At some point, they may just vanish forever. Yeah. Popcorn says on Trump impeachment 2 live stream banned. Wow, harsh. Are you appealing? Yes, I did appeal. Yes, and this is where it's bloody really annoying. I got an extra day of my suspension after I appealed. It's almost like they timed my suspension from my appeal. So from Saturday to Saturday is 7 days because they banned me on the Saturday that I was in devices. They lifted the ban on the Sunday. So it's 8 days. And Popcorn says, "Okay, you answered. You appealed and it failed. How could they review it in 20 minutes? Because they're not reviewing it. They're just leaving it up to the bloody AI bots, which the artificial intelligence in this case is not very intelligent." All right. Very funny. Very funny. A Crooked Beat. In answer to "Are you appealing?" Crooked Beat said, "No, he's appalling." Very funny, very funny. Popcorn doesn't get it. It's like that old joke, the peasants are revolting. Yeah, I know they are. Trump impeachment 2 live stream banned. Could a scenario emerge where your entire channel is banned? Yes, very easily. I now have a strike on my channel which will be valid until August. Sometime in August. That's 3 whole months. If I get a second, if I get a second strike, I'll get a 2-week suspension from YouTube. And if I have a third strike in that 3-month period, those strikes are all lifted in 3 months' time. If I have a third strike in that 3-month period, then my channel gets deleted permanently. It's gone. Yep, it could happen very easily. It could happen for almost no reason at all as well. This is what I mean when I say bloody YouTube are. This is what I mean when I say YouTube is becoming unusable. Right. YouTube, it's just it's reached the point where it's useless. Gary Robinson says on Oxford Graffiti 4. I do envy you being able to walk in the rain. I miss the English weather. Oh my goodness, Gary, you'd have to live abroad, I think. You'd have to live abroad to really appreciate the English rain for a very long time. Yeah. That being said, I did get caught in a torrential rain in Mexico City a couple of weeks ago. Wasn't quite the same though. Cheers. Oh, Gary. Yeah, I think the rain in countries like Mexico, it tends to be like short, sharp showers and things like that, and warm rain, stuff like that. I think because it's a more tropical country. Trump impeachment 2 live stream banned. sorry about this, Ben. You can't express yourself freely anymore. You can't freely express yourself anymore. Thanks, Ravenhill. Yeah, and that's where it's getting to. David Smith says, like a drag queen in a library. Now, David, we've been through this. Okay, the drag queen children's thing is not free expression. It's the abuse of children. I've got nothing against drag queens. You go to London and it's a tradition. There's drag queens in every pub and every club. But that's for adults. I just don't believe children should be exposed to this sort of thing. Popcorn Boxing says, it's like they were waiting for you at the Basis Project. You've already had the post-event blues, and then you got back to this. Popcorn, it's probably just a coincidence, but I can't help feeling that way. I really can't help feeling that's what they were doing. I really can't. I can't help feeling that way. Yeah, it seems like the timing was just too perfect. Trump impeachment 2, less than average. YouTube is a pile of shite. It used to be good, not now. Any alternative thinking videos have been removed. Yeah, it has really gone downhill so badly. And like I said, all they do, they've refused to sign Section 230. Like I said, if only all they have to do is sign Section 230. Then they can just go back to being the great platform they used to be, because then individual users become legally responsible for all the material they post, and the platform is not. But they won't sign it. They won't sign it because they want an excuse to moderate on grounds of politics. Ravenhill says, is this it now, Ben? Can you not post on YouTube for a while now? I couldn't for 8 days, Ravenhill, but I can now. I'm back now. Until... Well, if they don't decide to bloody get rid of me again, I don't know. So I keep checking my Gmail now. And Sargon was talking about this. I check my Gmail regularly just to see if I've had any more of these nasty little shitograms from YouTube. We've removed some of your content. Blah 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 blah. We've put a strike on your channel. I just check all the time now. And the Sargon of Akkad was saying, this wears you down after a while. It's soul sapping. Popcorn Boxing says on Oxford Graffiti 4, do you have a passion for graffiti, Ben? Yes, I don't actually create any myself, but I admire it. I admire some of the more... I really admire the artists who create... I mean, obviously, some graffiti is just is just silly, badly spelt words sprayed onto a wall, swear words and stuff like that. I don't like that. But some of it is like real artwork. It's like a mural. Popcorn Boxing laughed at my "we waterproof shit" thing with the aliens. Yes, it had me in giggles. Picking up a dog turd is definitely disgusting. New World Order initiative. I walked dogs in the 90s and 2000s, but never expected to pick it up. It's pathetically rancid. Well, being a hospital porter means I don't get squeamish, really, Popcorn. But it annoys me that people they pick up the dog poo in a bag and then they don't take the bag away from them. They just leave it there. What's the point? Why not just leave the poo there? Leave the poo. And it'll just dissolve. Eventually, in a couple of days, depending on the weather, it'll just disappear. Rats eat them, insects eat them. Just if you're going to pick it up, then take the bag away and put it into the doggy poo bin. But don't put it in the bag and then just leave the bag there. That's the thing that's rancid. Diego, it says Israel Diego Rivera, genius to the real genius, says on Trump impeachment ban 2. Trump impeachment 2 livestream banned. YouTube is an evil organisation. They bloody are, aren't they? Popcorn Boxing says, yes, MGTOW, one of your best. Yes, the MGTOW bridge. I just noticed there's this little footbridge over Headington Hill, which it seems to be very similar to the MGTOW bridge, in that the MGTOW bridge is like a railway bridge over from near Kennington in the south of the city of Oxford. And it's Victorian, it has rivets in, it's really, really nice. The reason I call it that is because of my video, Am I a MGTOW? I filmed most of it there. League of Heretics, hello League of Heretics. Trump impeachment 2. YouTube's Newspeak citizens must not express complex thoughts and ideas. The boundary rules, policies and vocabulary is constantly changing to eliminate words, content and symbolism that may encourage free thought and to question, oppose or disagree any narrative does not fit with the guidance. It would be lol if it were not true. Yeah, exactly. And it's really frustrating and it's upsetting that YouTube used to be one of the best damn things online and it turned into this. Never mind though. It just all they're doing is assisting the business models of Voltec, Gab, Minds, MeWe, BitChute, Odyssey, etc. Trump, same video, nothing as it seems. Russia, proclaimed Hillary Rodham, supported by the continuous status quo. Yeah. Oh, blimey, the whole Russia thing's getting me. It's annoying. When are they going to ban people questioning the Russia narrative? That's what I'm going to say. The Ukraine thing. When are they going to ban that? They've already banned RT from TV. Nothing as it seems, says on Oxford Graffiti 2. Nothing specific. All right, well, you live up to your name there, don't you? Nothing. I suppose they are trollish images. And Popcorn Boxing says, huh? If you mean trolls like in the creatures, not the internet shitlords, yeah. Some of them are quite kind of surreal, some surreal and weird creatures and things like that. I really love them. Lights Below says Andy Warhol, and there's like a timestamp here. Dogs. I see some more dogs in there. I spotted like the same. Is that in the style of Andy Warhol? Oh, yeah. Let's just check. Because Andy Warhol was a famous artist. Andy Warhol art. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, he does that famous Marilyn Monroe photo. Yeah. Oh right, yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah, if you look at some of his, let me just check. Let's just have a look, shall we, and see some of his. Oops. Right, display capture's not working. All right. I don't know why that is. Anyway, you can look it up. You can look it up. Look at Andy Warhol. He's a very famous artist. I don't. Is he still alive? I think he's. I don't know. Andy Warhol. He was very famous. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, died 1987. Yeah. 1928, 1920. He had a good life. He wasn't that. Yeah. He wasn't that old. 58. Oh, he was only 58. No, he's 58 when he died. August the 6th, 1928, February the 22nd, 1987. Yeah, it's not that old, really, is it? But I think I told this story on the Megtow video. He was shot. He was shot by Valerie Solano, the radical second wave feminist, because apparently she wanted him to publish her new book, and he said no because the Scum Manifesto was so bloody awful. So she shot him. Then it turned out she was suffering from paranoid schizophrenia. It should say a lot about considering how influential she was on second wave feminism. It was actually a schizophrenic thing. All right, MES is the name on the card. Oh right, lights. Okay, I lost that card, but I've got it. Obviously, I've got it repeated on there. But they're good guys. I've seen them again since then. The artists. Yeah. And I appreciate what they're doing. Reply to comments. Oh, let's have a look. Am I doing all right for? Yeah, just. I'm a bit bothered by how the display capture doesn't work. I'll have to sort that out later. The Ark was 2/3 the size of Titanic, and was more like a giant barge to contain all the original kinds God has bought to take shelter and survive. Right, David. Obviously, you realise that couldn't work. I mean, in the film Noah, he puts them to sleep, doesn't he? He puts all the animals to sleep. It's an interesting story, though, isn't it? Oxford Graffiti 4 timestamp. David's Splendid Isolation says green.
Definitely a grey.
Oh right, it's a green. Yes, it's not. Maybe you could call those aliens greens rather than greys. It's like a grey alien, but it's green in colour. Yeah. UFO Disclosure 2023. Steve Bassett on Exciting Times. Sandra Shufflebottom. Hey Sandra, enjoyed that, Ben. Nice one. Steve is so cool. Makes sense to sort this issue out before the elections. Good luck with the Vargas, with Vegas, and roll on August. Yay, Sandra! I'll be seeing Sandra up at the Awakening Manchester. I'm looking forward to that. I am looking forward to it very much. Trump impeachment 2 says. Neil Peel says, Would you mind thinking into this bag, sir? It's true, isn't it? And Jam Noise laughs at that too. That's great, man. That's great. Yeah, would you mind thinking into this bag, sir? I think you've had a little bit too much to think. Yeah. It's often the way in it. It's like it's become the crime, hasn't it? It's become a crime. It's become a crime to think. And the thought police are now real things, aren't they? Right, disclosure, Steve Bassett. Steve mumbling. Desperation is oozing out of this video. It's all over my lounge floor. UAP, UFO, whatever else you call it, the terminology is irrelevant. The truth is, it's not real. Yes, it is. It's not ET. Yes, it is. There's nothing to disclose. Yes, it is. We've been through this, Steve. Bassett isn't going to see disclosure before he drops off the perch. I really hope he will, because he's actually quite old, Steve. He's older than he looks. I was quite surprised, actually, when I found out his age, because he looks younger. I think, Steve, I really hope he does. I really hope that he does. And I think he has a good chance of doing so. There's something big coming, but he can't talk about it. Yeah, right. Yeah. Do you have a link to Gary Nolan making the statement you claim? Usually these claims are embellished beyond all reason by the UFO fanboys and bear little resemblance to what was actually said. Yes, I do, Steve. Yes, I damn well do. Gary Nolan. Gary Nolan. There's 2 R's in Gary. UFO. Where is it? He says. Here we go. He was being interviewed by somebody. Yes, Salt Connections. Now I can't show you. I cannot show you. There's an ad here to clear. Yeah, I'll give you the link right now. Here is your damn link, Steve. I don't know if this will go into the spam folder. But hang on. Oh, hang on. I buggered it up. Hang on. Right. There is the link. I click paste instead of copy. Now, here's your link. Shut up. And now I can't. You can't see it, but I can play it for you.
One really special to Salt. Someone that is atypical, but very
Let's just
consequential.
see where's he actually
And
say
today
it?
I'm very
100%.
excited to welcome Dr. Gary Nolan with us. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Today we are going to talk about aliens. Visited planet Earth.
Here we go.
I think you can go a step further. It hasn't just visited, it's been here a long time, and it's still here. And it has basically, people talk about the wow signal, looking for extraterrestrial intelligence. The wow signal is that people see it on an almost regular basis.
Okay, you can. I can't actually show you this video because the screen share thing's not working. But you can look it up. 100% aliens have already arrived. Dr. Gary Nolan, 2 R's in Gary. Salt Eye Connections, New York. There you go, Steve. Game, set, and bloody match. Okay. Oh, here we go. All right, Gary Steeman. Here's the Gary Nolan interview. And oh my God, he's just posted the. Steve, you just posted the link you've been asking me for. And here's the comment I just left on that video. Alright, so Steve he's now repeating his comment here. Okay. So the bottom line is he has no personal first-hand experience with recovered or otherwise ET material. He believes what he's been told by some dodgy characters tied up with the To the Stars Academy and... Oh, pardon me. Send us your money and we'll build you a Starship outfit started by Tom DeLonge. When is Dr. Nolan going to tell us that all Ross Coulthard's alien sphere is just a plain old terrestrial ball check valve? There's no tangible evidence of ET visitation. He's just giving us his opinion. Steve, he said 100%. Now, funny, you found the link now, so I didn't need to send that to you. A man in his position would not say that sort of thing frivolously. He knows exactly what's at stake here. He also is in touch with people behind the scenes, as is Ross Coulthard. I suggest you read Ross's book, In Plain Sight. I've got it over there. And look at some of the other interviews he's given, because you'll know that what you've just said here is completely wrong. The metal ball is not just a terrestrial ball check valve. It moves by itself. It's much more than that. And as for To the Stars Academy, I'm not that fond of them anymore. I think the people like when Mellon and Elizondo left, I think that was a sign that something was wrong. And so yeah, they've sort of they've dropped in their profile right now. So I don't think you should worry about this. Mark1 says on Trump Impeachment 2 livestream, if YouTube carry on like this, people are just going to drop them and they will go out of business. They think they're in charge here. No, we are. Power to the people. It's time for a new YouTube now. Yes, absolutely, Mark. And you know what? There are many new YouTubes. BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble. There's several others. They are going to. You think this is really weird because they have prioritised this agenda, this political mission above their own prosperity. And how often do corporations do that? But Google, who owns them, and the Alphabet cartel, they're literally ruining their own business to promote a political agenda. And people say this isn't capitalism. BZ Garson. I'm not going to block BZ Garson just yet. I'm going to give him another chance, but because I think I put him in his place in the last comments. Okay. But anyway, he says here, do you have any idea of the sheer scale of diverse content on YouTube? About 3.7 million videos are uploaded to YouTube every day. Political content is a mere fraction of that daily upload content. Most people don't give a fig as long as they can find content they like. People power my ass. Not DZ. I know exactly how many videos are uploaded, and I know that if you, for example, log out, or you not just log out of YouTube, but actually go to a blank browser with no cookies and then look at YouTube. Obviously, you'll see all kinds of things. Lots of it is gaming videos and cat videos and things like that. However, it is a fraction, but it's a fraction that gains the most interest. Look at the viewing figures on that political content compared to the viewing figures on the other videos. Look, it's not just about how many videos there are; it's how popular they are, how much AdSense they get. So people do give a fig, more than a fig, a whole fig tree. And Mark says, okay, thanks. Well, Mark, don't listen to him, honestly. There is a new YouTube. There are many, like I said, there are many new YouTubes, and they're actually gaining as YouTube are losing. Disclosure 2023, Steve Bassett on Exciting Times, less than average said, he's a bullshit pusher, Ben. Your mate used to do crop circles, and this shitter says they can't be explained. There's no life form on any other planet. It's wishful thinking and fantasy. No, less than average. You're wrong. He's not a bullshit pusher. He's a good guy, and I think he's on the right track. Your mate used to do crop circles. Well, Matthew Williams, yeah, so. And this shitter says they can't be explained. Well, firstly, don't be rude to Steve. All right? You could be polite to him and disagree with him. Secondly, he's right that some cannot be explained. And I've cornered Matthew on this, and I've said to him, Matthew, look, can you really say that you are behind every single one of these circles? And he ums and ahs, depending on how much he's had to drink. And then he'll sometimes say, oh, yes, indeed, some of them do appear, and I don't know where they come from. So, yeah. And there is life on other planets, and there's life in other parts of the universe. It's not just wishful thinking and fantasy. It is evidence. These things come from somewhere. And by far the most likely location they're going to come from is other planets. Investigate with Nick. Hey Nick, how you doing? Trump Impeachment 2 livestream banned. Sorry to hear this news, Ben. Makes me think how far we've come since the days of Edge Media TV, when censorship on any platform wasn't such a problem. Oh, Edge Media. Nostalgia overload. Oh, hiraeth. Oh, God. Do you remember those lovely days in the early 2000s when there was the Showcase channel? And oh, man, yeah. Those were good days, weren't they? Steve Bassett again, Neil. NASA seem to be dodgy characters, and Steve mumbling has had no personal involvement with the moon landings, but he's convinced they are real. Neil, Steve and I, this is where Steve, I think, does go off on the wrong track, and I've said so many, many times. And I don't quite understand why he is so aware of the deception regarding the ET truth embargo. He has so much awareness of that. Yeah, on every other issue, he merges seamlessly with the mainstream. And as I explained on previous video, I'm not going to debate Ukraine with him. I'm not going to debate the C word with him, and the V word. I'm not going to debate those things with him because it would just lead us off track of what I want to talk to him about. But really, he is wrong about those things, and like you, I don't quite understand why. I don't, but. That's Steve. I still like him. I still like what he does. And when it comes to the UFO issue, he's as hot as hell. He's right on the money. C. Mumbling says there's overwhelming evidence for the moon landings and zero evidence for ET visiting. Wrong, Steve, and wrong. And we have here on Steve Bassett. McGovernors says June the 10th and 12th. Oh, right, that is right. McGovernors, McFC Governors. What you're referring to there, I think, is Stephen Greer's little what is it he's got going? Oh, I've got the email thing here, so I'll get the details. Because honestly, I mean, I'm not against this sort of thing happening. Where is it here? Right. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Stephen Greer. I'm just going to my emails now because I get his emails. I do get his emails here. Where is it? Right. It'll be on the. That's the debrief. Oh, right. Right. Someone else sent me that debrief article. Here we go. I don't want to watch that later. Here we go. This is the Historic Disclosure Conference and DC screening of The Lost Century, June the 10th and 11th. All right. National Press Club event, Monday, June the 12th. That's not long now, is it? That's actually this weekend coming. Explosive new disclosure, witnesses and events. Also, there's going to be a premiere of The Lost Century, his new video, which I will be watching and reviewing. Now, if you get your unfortunately, there's something a bit predictable here. It's very expensive to attend this press conference. You can have the tickets actually run from $499 US to $5,000. If you want to go onto the 2-day webinar event, it's $99 US. I don't know why is it so expensive. It really should be a fraction of that. And this is one of my big criticisms of Greer. I went to one of Greer's live shows in London. It was like £78 for a 2-hour show. Even by London standards, that's extortionate. It's absolutely extortionate. But well, there you go. Caveat emptor. I won't be tuning into the live stream. I won't be watching the live webinar. What I'll do is I'll watch it. If there's any recordings available afterwards, I'll study those. And I will be watching his film, The Lost Century. Same video. Tor Engen says, not much from the Skidmaker Ranch. Copyright reserved. Alright. Alright, that's your term. Skidmaker Ranch. Tor Engen invented it first. Remember that. Well, I haven't actually looked. When was the last time I studied the Skinwalker Ranch? Yeah, there was something about it. Was basically Green Street, wasn't it? It was Stephen Greenstreet on the basement office. He was the last person I saw talking about this Skinwalker Ranch, and what he said was very interesting. Actually, it was he was basically saying how he pointed out rightly that there was some deception involved with the 2017 New York Times article, but he did realise that they had to say that Lou Elizondo was behind the whole thing, even though it turns out Lou Elizondo was actually a minor player in the big organisation, that is ORSAP. What Elizondo did is kind of he had a private project called ATIP which was associated with that, but he realised that if Leslie Kean and Ralph Blumenthal had to focus on Elizondo's, because otherwise New York Times would not have published it. Now you may say that's a compromise and they sort of like sold out a little bit but maybe they made the decision by I mean, it is a dilemma, and I understand why people do this. And Stefan Molyneux actually has just done a very good video a very good radio show about this. Whether is it the right thing to do, just to do this, to say, well, I'm going to tell this little bit of lie to get a bigger truth out. Because Blumenthal and Kane said, yes, we'll tell this little lie to get the bigger truth out. In that case, you could argue that it worked. I don't know what's the right thing to do in that situation. I mean, I'm glad they did what they did. I think you can't argue. I have to agree with people who say there's a moral dilemma, and maybe they were deceitful, but you can't argue with the results. Rick Horden says on Cynthia, new video. Cheers, Ben. I say new. They're all new videos this week because I uploaded them all pretty much at the same time. Popcorn Boxing says on Is Paul McCartney Dead? Oh, this video is your top performing video. Yeah, it's been very popular, yeah. So after 8 years since this was uploaded and now nearly 60 years of playing Paul, what's your assessment today? Is Paul dead? Yes. Oh, Popcorn, it's actually my second top performing video. Well, I think Helen Duncan is my original Helen Duncan film is the top one. Either way, it's got hundreds of thousands of views. The answer is yes, Paul is dead. And I haven't changed my mind on this. I'm actually writing a foreword for a new book on this. Rick Horden says, "What dream?" This is another new video. What dreams may come? Watch, read, party, review. Rick says, "My favourite rendition of those famous lines by Vincent Price playing Edward Lionheart shortly before throwing himself off a London tower block balcony into the Thames after having been denied the Actor of the Year award in Theatre of Blood, 1972. Did he? Well, by Vincent Price. Did he? Well, the thing is, Vincent Price lived. He lived into the 90s. I know, because his last film was Edward Scissorhands. He did it as a favour to Tim Burton, who'd always been a big fan of Vincent. Oh, I didn't know about it. I'm not going to look it up now, Rick, but I've not heard about that before. Disclosure, Steve Bassett. Tessa1111 says, "I've been reading your Roswell book. Philip K. Dick and you write what ifs very well." Well, thank you, Tessa. Thank you. Mwah. I hope you enjoy the rest of the book. And please do check out the sequels. David Smith says on Trump Impeachment Livestream 2. So this wasn't Team Droik. Well, it might have been. I mean, you see, I'm sure Team Droik, I'm sure they flag every one of my videos, like I said. I've no doubt about it. They're going to flag this one too. And sometimes it could be that those flags work and they take. But it could have also happened spontaneously. You know, it could be the bots just sniff something out. "I hope your account doesn't get banned, but I do think some of your beliefs are harmful and divisive." Well, thanks. I'm glad you don't want my account to get banned and you respect my right to free speech, David. I don't think my beliefs are harmful and divisive at all. You say, "I like beliefs about the New World Order using immigrants to take over." That I don't think is a harmful and divisive belief. I think that what's harmful about it is the fact that it's been done. I don't believe we should blame the individual immigrants, as I've always said, and I've also said that there shouldn't be divisions between us and them. All people of all races across the world are victims of the NWO, and I don't blame those people who are being used in any particular way to further that agenda, because I know that white British people are being used in that way as well. So, harmful and divisive? No, I disagree. "It became political at some point when I remember watching your content as a skeptic and enjoying it, just the paranormal claims and stories. Then at some point politics crept in more and more until now it seems to be the main focus. To me, that's a sign that, like many others, you're being manipulated." Okay, I don't think I'm being manipulated. I'm on my guard against being manipulated, David. And it's true though that my content has changed over the years, and you've got to expect that. If I've been doing YouTube, I've had an active YouTube channel now for 16 years. Of course, at some point there's going to be change. What's that noise? Oh, it means my. And you may not have heard it. It means my dehumidifier needs to be emptied. So you've got to expect that there's going to be change. People's content is going to change over that time, but I don't believe I've done anything wrong here. And I mean, it's not my intention to put you off my channel, but I mean, if you dislike what I'm doing now, then so be it. I think I'm willing to discuss it with you. If you think I've gone wrong somewhere, then I'm happy to talk about that with you. Oxford Graffiti 4 Glowtone says, "I do enjoy these Oxford Graffiti videos, Ben. Some amazing artwork. Shame a lot of it gets painted over." Yes, the reason I make these videos is for that reason. Is actually for that very reason. So it is preserved. "Do you ever get approached by members of the public when you're filming out and about? Do they ever question what you're doing?" Yes, occasionally I do. Some of them even recognise me. I ask because of the growing number of public auditors on YouTube who visit various places, police stations, government buildings, etc., quite often getting hostile receptions from security, etc. Yes, the auditors. The auditors are now. It's become kind of like an internet subculture, especially on YouTube, and there are so many. And I must admit, I do watch them and I do enjoy them. Charlie Veitch, actually, I think, was the original auditor, as he claims. He invented the genre, and other people have taken up the mantle. It used to be that they would... Things about auditing, it used to be that it was done specifically to expose the police and security services when they were overstepping their mark, where they were ignorant of the law, or they lied about the law and depended on people they were dealing with not knowing. And the auditor says, yes, well, we do know your law and you're wrong, and there'd be like this argument. It started off really, I think, with a positive message and a positive purpose, but it's become more kind of just a way of generating drama, and it's done more for entertainment now, as a way of like for people like who sometimes some people just like arguing with other people. This is a way of doing it. As Charlie has admitted, he has unprocessed childhood trauma, which is why he does what he does. And I think it is more now just a simple quest for drama and entertainment. But yeah, I'm actually not an auditor, as you know. I don't know why you've actually brought auditing into this comment here, because it's not really relevant. I have had auditing moments. I was challenged by a security guard at Green College, if you remember, in my Centaur video. But I mean, it's just kind of, it would be kind of like there are so many of them. It would be jumping the shark a bit for me to do it as well. Cynthia. Where are we? 69 Phuket. Hospital porters are incestuous. Well, what? I'm sure they shag under the stairs in the wee hours. Yes, not with each other. Sometimes we do, with nurses and things. But although not me, unfortunately. I wish it had been. At 3 a.m. you're dealing with sleepwalkers, cadavers, and urges. Oh yeah, yes, all those things. The urges are like, well, things used to go on in the bed store. Let's put it that way. Not with each other, but sometimes with female staff and things like that. Yeah, that's normal. I mean, the doctors used to have sex in the on-call rooms with each other. What's that? Is my phone made a weird noise? Anyway, you'd be getting a £1,500 bung in June's packet if you'd hung on in there. Oh, well, it wasn't my choice, Phuket, not to hang in there. Got to be a realist to put up with crap porters do. Lol. With crap porters do. Got to be a realist to put up with crap porters do. Well, you have to. It's a combination with realism and escapism, I think. I think we're a very balanced profession. Never been one, never would. Just hung around them and fancied one. All right, Phuket. Well, in that case, I think there's probably a 95% possibility that you're homosexual, because hospital porters, 95% plus of us are men, and the feminists don't mind that, because it's in their eyes it's a dirty, unglamorous, low-paid job, and they're quite happy for the blokes to get on with that. There are female porters. Some of them are attractive. I actually fancied a female porter called Sarah once. This is before I was actually a porter, I remember. But anyway, maybe you are straight and it's a female porter you're talking about here. Hope you're not talking about me. Cynthia's Gary Robinson. Very interesting, mate. And I agree with you in regards to office junior work. It's bloody horrible. Did that for myself some decades ago. Cheers. Cheers, Gary. Yeah, luckily I only did that for about 5 months. Then I managed to get into the portering. This is when I was like, well, I tried several things actually in that period. I started at the hospital. I went off to try and I left and did a couple of other things for a few months, and then came back, and then did another stint, and then eventually got into portering. So my 18th year was very much like that. It was it was like trying new things, trying to find a place in life, and eventually ending up in hospital portering. Women in ufology said, "Oh, I'm very proud of this video. It's an old one, but my goodness me, I'm very proud of it, because it's one of these kind of the women in ufology. It's one of these videos. It's like the MGTOW video. It's like several other videos I've done, which are meant to be sort of one-stop shop points of reference for when someone asks me a question about a certain subject. I can say, okay, it's all in this one video, because previously I'd have to give people an array of videos and say, well, there's this video, that video, this video. Now I can just say, well, there's this one video, just go and watch this. So, but I'm very proud of this video. Tor says, strange the same persons that are not willing to accept shape-shifting, but when one male dress as a woman, then he's a woman, logic. I think you're referring to, yes. I could put on a dress and self-ID as a woman and say, right, I'm a woman from now on, and I want to go into women's changing rooms. And according to some laws, no one could stop me. I could even be put in a women's prison. And yeah, in some countries you can be put in a women's prison. All you've got to do is basically say, well, I self-identify as a woman. And of course, so people say that, yeah, it's really, the mainstream. You see, this is what is meant by clown world. The mainstream is far more bizarre than anything we could come up with. I mean, shape-shifting reptilians in Buckingham Palace is nothing compared to that, is it? Larry Warren in Rendlesham Forest 2017. Gary Jones. This is not Gary. This is Gary with a Y. This is not Gary Jones, who is the Pentac researcher. That's a time warp. Love Larry, genuine as anything. What a life he's had. Some had respect. Thanks, Gary. Much appreciated. UFO disclosure. Exciting time, Steve Bassett. Donna Wellham. Interesting link, Ben and Steve. Thanks, Donna. Much appreciated. Glad you enjoyed that. The Crafty Nihilist. St. Theo's. I'm nearly at the end of YouTube, unbelievably, within 2 hours. That's amazing, considering how long it's been since the last one. All right, this is... What do they say here? Hang on, I'll just... a portrait at the hospital. Hang on. Crafty says, 9:49. You look like you're a rep for an 1830 holiday outside of a dodgy hotel in Torremolinos. Do I? Fiddle behind me. I'm standing outside the John Radcliffe Hospital at Oxford. Well... Alright, Cynthios, this is normally you be doing this on the moon. What's this? Let's have a look. This is in 11:12. This is another timestamp from the crafties. Normally I'd be doing this on the move. I make notes about what move. It does sound a bit like moon, doesn't it? Cynthios again. Oh, right. Oh, this is the invisibility dragon juice. Yes, this is the video that keeps giving. Yeah, all right. I know what this is. Like, what happens was, when I do this, sometimes, like, because I don't use a green screen. I've got to get a green screen, actually. I can hang it across here. When I'm using, like, the background program on StreamYard, very often little bits keep fuzzing in and out, depending, because it's designed to look for the human outline. And so sometimes I do this. When I go like that, it just vanishes. The dragon juice vanishes. What dreams may come? Watch. This is 21 hours ago. I'm nearly at the end of YouTube. What dreams may come? Watch Read Party Review. Tessa, the lighting is much better on this view of you. Looks good. Thanks, Tessa. You know, I might just use the background picture to my studio rather than use my studio in future, if you guys think that's okay. Okay, I've got like a link now I got a link. This is 20 hours ago. This is the last comment on YouTube on What Dreams May Come. Here's a few request for response stuff, dude. Right, what's this? This is from Melvin Sherman. And what's this here? Well, it has an ad, which is going to clear. This is 1985 by Anthony Burgess, A Message from the Future Past. Oh, right.
Hello.
Oh, I've seen this.
I wonder how many of you have read a book by Anthony Burgess called 1985.
Right, yes, this is Demi-Rep. This is an old lady on YouTube who I have watched this. Thanks. I won't go into details right now, Melvin Sherman, but I have watched the video. I've not read the book yet. He says, also read the book. It's pretty good for both non-fiction and fiction. Yeah, Anthony Burgess is the author of A Clockwork Orange, the book on which the famous film by Stanley Kubrick is based. There's stuff that I've got a problem like. One of them is projection of how much he hates Churchill. He said something, if Orwell was socialist, why would he name his character after Winston Churchill, which I found odd. Well, did George Orwell name Winston Smith after Winston Churchill? I don't know. I don't think Orwell was a fan of Winston Churchill, was he? I think Orwell was very anti-Nazi, and it could be that he saw Churchill, as many people did, as the saviour against the Nazis. I don't know. One, I don't believe Orwell's named Winston Smith after Winston Churchill. No, I don't either, Melvin. Orwell name. One, I don't. Melvin, it would help if you could use proper spelling and punctuation, mate. Sorry, it's just hard to follow here. I don't believe Orwell named Winston Smith after Winston Churchill. Unless I am wrong, I found too kinda weird. I don't think he did either, Melvin. No, I don't think he did. Anyway, BitChute. Let's go to BitChute now. There's nothing wrong with saying the word BitChute on YouTube, is there? Okay, I'm going to do the usual on BitChute, which is to go through my latest uploads. If I can get it, if BitChute will actually appear, go through my latest uploads, and then I'll go to the notices. So I'll go to all the videos I've uploaded since the last comments reply video. So this is Inferno Watch Party, and I have no comments. Oh, sorry, of course, reply to comment 76 itself. I should mention that as well. No comments. What's happening now? It's like I don't know. This is BitChute's like it's like hourglassing. I keep thinking like the page is loading and some replies are going to appear. So I'm actually not gonna close that. Anyway, Trump impeachment 2 live stream banned. I'm not going to close that page just yet. Oh, it is. There's no comments there. I'm just worried that if it's sort of like been banned. I'm worried that if the page is loading and I just close it, it'll be because and then the comments will appear. You see, that's what I mean. Sweeps Fox. Hey Sweeps, how's it going, mate? We know YouTube and its AI programmers can assume any agenda for banning a video since I shouldn't imitate your voice. Since it as a platform has its own agendas to exercise, which means it can be fickle about anything it does and refuses any blame on the principle that it doesn't owe any explanation. Yeah, basically, Sweeps, that's what they do. That's why you and I are both aficionados for BitChute, aren't we? Plain and simple, of course, it's an anti-free speech and outside of humanity in its own bubble. Tar. Yeah, that's a good summary there, Sweeps, I think. Okay, Steve Bassett. UFO Disclosure 2023, Steve Bassett on Exciting Times. No comments. Oxford Graffiti 4. No comments. I think Hugo Rune has commented, has joined BitChute and commented on me somewhere. Right, and Theo's, no comments. What dreams may come? Watch Read Party Review. No comments. Right, okay, so I'm now going to go across to... Okay, just go across to the notices. Bloody right, just scroll down. I've got over 700 here. So this might take a while, but it's really good you get these notices on BitChute. You never used to get these, which means I couldn't. What would happen is that because I've got all my entire catalogue on BitChute, I'd get comments on some really old videos, and I wouldn't know they were there. Comment here on. Oh, this is Sweeps himself on his own channel. I'm not going to apply here, but. Yeah, I was talking about Penn and Teller because Sweeps 2 Fox. Actually, I do recommend that channel. I do recommend it because I used to despise Penn and Teller when they did their skeptic rants. But I'll tell you what, their voices. I said they are voices of reason and comfort in this bloody world because they are so like pro free speech. They really are. They're real libertarians. Those guys. I say voices. It's Penn's voice. Teller is like a Teller. Of course, is always mute. He does speak like when he's off stage, but he's Penn is this sort of loudmouth, foul-mouthed kind of like yank, and then Teller is like always silent. It's very funny. Oh, I do have a comment on Trump impeachment 2. Oh right, this is one banned on YouTube. Yes, here we go. Yes, this is the video that was banned on YouTube. And I have Hugo Rune. I knew he'd put a comment on here somewhere. 805. He says. Thanks, Ben. I'm enjoying my spliffs while watching this. Yay, Hugo. I'm glad you're on. I'll sub to you on. Let me just sub to you. Oh, right. He doesn't actually have any content. He's just an account. Okay, no worries. But thanks very much, Hugo. Keep scrolling down, scrolling. It's funny. This is going to be a very short, surprisingly short comments reply video. Amazing how you're just a little. Amazing how just a kind of like a YouTube ban for a week just throws everything off kilter, doesn't it? I actually didn't think I'd be able to do a. Here we go. Oh, a new comment on Charlie Veach is back, and we have here Sellout Veach is a bully. I mean, sellout. I think is a bit too strong, but bully. Yeah. I don't like what he does now, Michael. I don't like what he does now. And I don't like the fact that I do see. Was he really a sellout? And there's a part of me that just wonders if he was just putting the whole thing on to begin with. You know, whether the whole truth movement thing was just a way of. It's just like a kind of game for him, because he didn't need a lot of persuading, did he, to drop off the bandwagon. He went on that ridiculous TV show. I was asked to go on the series, the follow-up series, and I said, no bloody chance, you're not putting me on your fucking shitty TV show. Charlie Veitch went on, he lapped it up. He's been on TV shows, he's done interviews with newspapers, and he's did an interview with The Independent, he's been on another documentary. He was part, yeah, I mean, it's. I'd like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but his behaviour is exactly what you'd expect from someone who was only interested in publicity and his only cause would be his own publicity. Unfortunately, if I've made a mistake and I misjudged him, I apologise, but I don't. We're almost at the end of an hour now. But what I'll do is I will. The third hour won't be very long because I'm already on alt tech. I'm glad it's not been that long actually. All right, new comments on. Sweeps Fox again. Yay, Sweeps. That's on another video that he did. So thanks, Sweeps. Yeah, it's good old Sweeps. I've got to send him a link to my latest videos actually. You just comment on mine as well. Okay, we're getting through these comments now. So you guys, yeah, you do right. That's it, I think. Yep, that's it. So what I'll do is, as always, mark all as read. I've got to remember to do that, haven't I? Mark all as read, delete all. And it's very good timing actually, because I've just got to the end of BitChute, and it's now the end of hour number. Oop, there we go. We got to the end of hour number 2, so I'll take a break now and come back for hour number 3, which won't be very long because I've only got Odyssey and Rumble to do, and unless I've got some very long comments on there. Okay, guys and gals, we get on to Odyssey now. This is hour number 3. Odyssey, of course, does provide comments notices and things like that, but they indeed upload notices of your subs. However, these don't cover the entire period. In fact, they only go back 10 days or so, which means I do have to make a note of any comments I get separately, which is I can do, but I haven't made no notes at all of any that I've had, which means I probably haven't had any comments on videos, at least videos from which happened before the ones I've just uploaded, or indeed the ones that I've actually edited. Because the thing about Odyssey is when you edit a video, even if you change the title, your video is boosted up. It's basically bumped up the list of your various uploads, which means that I actually, for example, I've actually changed the title of a couple of my videos. The 2 that were banned, that is the Trump Impeachment 2 and DC Aftermath. I changed the title to put in brackets underneath, banned from YouTube. Well, I appear to have had no comments on them, but anyway, I'm going to go to reply to comment 76 first of all. Here we go. So what have I got here? Now, as I say, Odyssey is a bit of a drag because the pages take a long time to load because there's a lot of ads. But I don't mind that with Odyssey. I really don't, because Odyssey needs a funding model. And they Hospital have Porter's Pride and Dignity. Stop the new. No comments. Inferno Watch Read Party Review. I've got any from Diego Rivera? Shelley of the Red? Nope, nothing there. Okay, Trump Impeachment 2 live stream. Trump Impeachment 2 live stream banned. This is one I this is the alt tech one I uploaded this long before I did on YouTube, because I was only uploading to YouTube. I was only uploading to alt tech because here we go. Right. Jamnoise72 says it's a 2-year-old video. What the actual fuck? That was somebody reporting it, bro. Yeah, Jamnoise. I do think. Hang on, I've got to do the. Hang on a second. Notice comment. Here we go. Third, right? The comment notice. Here we go. Comment the reply notice. Here we go. Sis, yep. It's quite likely. I think that somebody flagged it. I mean, they flag it all the time, don't they? They bloody flag it all the time. Jam Noise also says, "I love the singing intro, bro." Yeah, the singing thing is actually the singing is actually basically a joke, because I thought, well, no one can slap a fake copyright strike on this because it's my own tune and I'm the one singing it. But yeah, I mean, it sounds very dodgy indeed, even though it's Occam's razor for mainstream media mediocrity. Great name. It says, quote, "Our team of nose-picking morons have reviewed the content of your video and have found that it breaches YT's complete ban on free speech. You will be sent to the naughty users room for a week, and we trust that upon release you will be content to upload videos on Funny Kittens, or else seek a competitor platform where you can freely utter the truth rather than our truth. Ben, you only needed to give them a 5-word response. Stick it up your ass." Quite so, very well said indeed. And you know what? That's what I've done. And you know what? It's I love. That's really funny what you just put there, because that's exactly the case, isn't it? The silvery lining to this cloud, Occam's razor for mainstream media mediocrities. Occam's razor for mainstream media mediocrity nil. Yeah, that's a good name. The good news is that this, of course, is helping their competitors. Their competitors are capitalising on this. You know, when Tucker Carlson was banned from Fox's shares dropped like about 6 points, but Rumble's went up like 8 points because, of course, Tucker is a big star in Rumble, isn't he? Yeah. Oh, but I wasn't going to do a comments reply video today. Actually, I was a bit lucky. Well, not lucky, but I was going to have to leave it till tomorrow because I was going to do Third Rail today. But then Trevor's not very well, so I had to cancel today's Third Rail show. Okay, sorry, I've already done that one. I've done that one. So it's now UFO Disclosure 2023, Steve Bassett on Exciting Times. Oops. Nope, no comments. By the way, you can actually tell that these are Old Tech exclusives. These began as Old Tech exclusives by the URLs. Because the URLs actually have the name of the files I used, not the name of normally the title of the video is included in the URL. Because what I do is I upload them to YouTube, then I download the smaller copy from YouTube and then distribute it in Alltech, because it takes less time to upload and process. But I couldn't do that this time. I couldn't do it, so I couldn't do that this way. So I actually uploaded the raw files to Alltech. Just a little bit of trivia there for you. Oxford Graffiti 4. Alright, here we go. Oh, I've got 4 comments.
So we'll go look at that now.
4 comments. By the way, please excuse me. I know in the first scene I'm upside down. I know. I realised I'd made a mistake with the editing and I couldn't be bothered to fix it. Jam Noise 72 says, "Amazing artwork, fantastic video. It just keeps getting better and better. Such talented people there. When do they do it? Overnight? Stepping in horse poo. That must be good luck somehow." I hope so, Jackie. They don't do it overnight. No, they're actually doing it during the day. I mean, it's perfectly legal. I mean, they have permission from the council. Jam Noise, the dragon is so amazing. Yeah, there was several dragons. One was outside that school, and there was another one. Oh, spam! I'm not spamming. Shut up. So colourful. I love the denim van. Yeah, that was amazing, the denim van. That was like really funny that they did that, yeah. I enjoy looking up your nose, bro. It's my camera angle. I'm just like, it's not that disgusting. It's nothing disgusting up there, I assure you. It's just the normal stuff. Bit of hair. I'm not spamming, shut up. I'm not spamming. Bastards. Alright, Syntheos 2023.
Recent Theo's Day to you.
Right. No comments. And finally, What Dreams May Come. Watch Read Party Review. No comments. Right, on to Rumble. Rumble. Now, I haven't. Again, as with Odyssey, you do get notices. You do get reply. You do get notices, but those notices come through email, which means that what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through my recent content, but I'm also going to go through my emails just to see if there have been any extra comments that have been sent to me since the last comments reply video. I try to make a note of them when I see them, but there's just so much. I get so many damn emails. Oh, here we go. Right, 19. Okay. Rumble. Let's go from searching. Right. Take your time. Anyway, while it's searching, I'll go through the most recent videos on here. So, reply to comment 76. No comments. I tend not to get many with Rumble. Inferno Watch Read Party Review. I get a lot of them are like spam comments. Some of them are sensible comments. No comments. Trump impeachment 2 live stream ban. I've got to have some on this, surely. No comments. Nope. UFO Disclosure 2023 Steve Bassett on Exciting Times. No comments. Oxford Graffiti 4. No comments. And finally, sent Theo 2023. Had 9 views on it, no comments. And finally, What Dreams May Come, Watch Read Party Review. What's that noise? No comments. Okay, so let's just go to. Something went wrong. Hang on, let's just have a look again. Rumble search. Hang on. Right. Oh, let's just start again with this. Hang on. Rumble searching. Alright, it's not working. Something's not working. Okay. Rumble.com. Maybe it will do if I do that. Something will happen. Okay. Alright. Yeah, no, what? Notifications from Rumble. Right. Searching. Oh, here we go. Right. You're currently subscribed. I'm just scrolling down. Subscribe. Let's have a look. Red Pill World, Jordan Sather, and Vandersea, Healing Earth with Andrew Bridgen, Sticks Hexenhammer. These are just people who are uploading. Il Donaldo Trumpo. And now on the 23rd of May, still going back in time. So, Mark Devlin. Okay, that's it, I think. Is that it? Okay, so there's no comments on Rumble. Okay, so all I do now is just go back to YouTube notifications and see what's there. So let's have a look. So that's it. There's nothing on my channel. Okay, so YouTube notifications. Let's have a look what we have. Has anyone posted any comments while I've been recording this rather short comments reply video? Let us see, shall we? 2. Right, I've had 2. What's that? Oh, just mark 1. It was more of a rant than a comment. I suppose it was, yes. It was indeed. So, yeah, true. But you still get a reply to it anyway. And that's it. So, ladies and gents, so one more. I'll do one more refresh of YouTube. Then I'll call it a night. So let's have a look. So anything on there? No, that's it. Right. So, well, what can I say except thank you very much, all of you, for those very interesting comments. There's some. I'm not, and no, I haven't banned BZ Garson just yet. I think. Because I was quite rude to him as well, so he's responded in kind, so I suppose I can give as good as I get with him, so what's the point? But generally, even some of the rude comments were quite funny. A lot of them were very thoughtful, a lot of them were very appreciative, and I thank you all for all those. Needless to say, it's you guys who leave the comments is the reason why these videos take place. And if you didn't leave the comments, this video wouldn't happen, or any of the other 76 videos I've done in this series. So thank you very much for those. Okay guys, more coming up soon, another video. I've got to do a live, maybe it's time to do the live streams for those watch party and read parties, wouldn't you say? Inferno and What Dreams May Come, definitely. There may be some more YouTube news as on YouTube, UFO news and things like that I'll be covering. So yeah, stay tuned for those things. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Probably the next video will be this weekend. I hope to do one this weekend. Anyway, guys, hopefully I won't get any more bans. In the meantime, though, even if I do, I'm not going to let it stop me. I will go to Alt Tech and I will do everything there. So please do sub to me on BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble. Please do. Thank you all of you for watching HPANWO TV. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order.